The funny thing about Glendalough is everything looks tiny. When you're here, it's almost like a toy place or a model. But you're looking at some huge heights, vast sizes. Up on the top of that hill there. Walkers. There's a bit of a breeze coming down the valley. This is one of those giant hoverflies. Really beautiful. But there's a few different species. I'll have to find out what this one is now for sure. I've forgotten. I think I did know what it was. Well, I'm on the Silver Trail and it's a bit of a climb. It's not so bad as on the other side though, the Glendalough Valley Trail, which is very, very high. But still, it's quite nice. It's very windy, so you have your breath taken away. Hoping when I get to the next valley on the other side, it'll be more sheltered and I can talk. I'll be on the hill going downhill, so I won't be gasping as much. And there's a very smashed tree. Look at that. Absolutely torn up. That's a big tree. Scots pine, I think. Yeah, or larch. No, Scots pine. And there are a lot of waterfalls here. This one that comes out down there and flows into the upper lake, and the upper lake at the same time somehow flows into the lower lake. It's very complicated because all the rivers seem to flow even away from the lower lake into the upper lake. It's all to do with altitude. I'm hoping to see some red squirrels because it's nearly all grey squirrels where we are. But I mightn't see anything at all. It's impossible to know. But it's a nice day for walking in the woods. Now, winter in Ireland can be a little bit boring because the light is so low, so it's hard to make videos without making videos at night. And nighttime can be pretty boring because everything's relying on sunlight to come out. So I'll be reducing the videos I make. I'm making a lot at the moment, but I'll be probably just putting one up a week for the duration of winter, because there's just so little that you can record, and I like to record, make my own recordings of wildlife and stuff. But there are many other subjects, archaeology and all sorts of things you can find. It's just that you have only so much time in which you can record it because daylight is so low, so short at this latitude. Now, when I was talking about winter, I meant the Great Northern Winter, which is basically from equinox to equinox, from the autumn equinox until the spring equinox, because the light, even a few weeks after the equinox or a week after the equinox, you really start to notice the mornings very dark and the evenings draw in really quickly. So you have only a few hours in which to find something you can record, or to do anything you want to record, and do it in good light. I'm very lucky today. It was actually raining when I came up here. I was driving through rain, and just when I arrived in the valley it was sunny. And you can hear there's a few hundred school children down in the valley visiting. I think they were on a hike just up to the old miners' cottages, which are really beautiful. But you never want to go anywhere when there's 200 or 300 screaming children. It's it's not good. Not easy for recording. Children, of course, scare off the wildlife too, because although they can distract the wildlife, sometimes you can watch the wildlife watching the noisy people. But kids will be kids, that's just the way it is. So whatever about Bigfoot, and to be honest, anything what we heard all those children shouting and roaring would have run away by now. But there is actually a tradition of a monster in the upper lake, because St. Kevin was supposed to have done battle with this monster. Now the interesting thing about the monster is I'm pretty sure it's a kind of a metaphorical monster. Kind of like Jesus wandering in the desert doing battle with the devil. It's like Kevin was doing battle with a sort of possibly the monsters of himself. But it's described in, I mean, to be honest, the ordinary peasant people would believe in monsters, although not really here. Loch Tay is said to have a monster, but there's just kind of comedy stories about that. Loch Tay is on the other side. There's another nice little waterfall, and somebody has put a keg in there to try and cool who knows what. I suspect the keg might have some Mountain Dew in it, a little bit of the dew. Anyway, the monster, Kevin, I haven't shown you this, but I'll make another video. I have seen deer in very hot days in summer wading into the river and or into the lake and just standing in it up to their necks, or probably trying to get away from biting flies as well. So I wouldn't think there's any monsters in there, although Eamon the butler described seeing something very strange. He put it down to being two otters swimming one behind another, which he saw when he was filming there, and he wasn't joking. Eamon the butler was, of course, our most famous wildlife filmmaker. Probably he was our most famous naturalist up until this century. He would be the most famous of the 20th century. And then we had another naturalist, of course, Gerrit van Gelderen, who was Dutch, and he was brilliant. I used to love his programs, but they were both great. And at the same time, you never saw enough of their stuff on TV. It was very hard for RTE to find slots for nature and wildlife, sadly.